Today we're unlocking the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow formation in FUT 26, the meta diamond that absolutely tears through defensive lines. If you like high tempo attacks and carving chances between the center back, stick around because this setup is your new go-to for relentless pressure. Start with the bull of assault being on counter and the defensive approach on 50. Even the post update, guys, you still want to keep the defensive approach between 50 to 60. If you actually watched my previous custom tactics video, which was yesterday, my 4-5-1 custom tactics, I told you guys keep it between like 45 to 60 max. You want to keep it in the balanced range, not necessarily going for the high if you lack defensively. It's still the same thing, and still the build of assault on counter works best at the moment, even the post fight. There are some changes in the update that actually make this formation even better. It was good before this update. It actually makes it even better, but just some minor changes in terms of the kickoff bug that your defense side couldn't do a very good job from the kickoff. You could get the counter attack easily. After this update, this 4-1-2-1-2, because of the nature of having CDM in it, and also followed by 2 cm and a cam, and of course in a diamond shape, you could see you can have a lot of force going from the middle, and in case of having a problem going from the middle, you have your left back or right back you know, as a extra force going down the way. But this is not necessarily in this setup. We're going to go through the player roles now. You could see I'm putting both of my strikers on poacher and my cam on shadow striker. This is going to be my 3 players that can actually, like, if I want to score, it's going to be either my 2 striker or my cam being on shadow striker. Why I put my cam on shadow striker? Because I want this player to be kind of like my 3rd striker. I can do a bit of quick 1-2 between my cam, my 2 striker, either my cam to my left striker or right striker. Maybe like trigger my striker to move forward. This play will naturally make the run because it's on shadow striker, and if you do trigger them manually too, you can actually be honestly unstoppable for this. So definitely, and the reason I'm going with poacher because I don't necessarily want to give them a lot of freedom, but as I told you in my previous videos, you can go with either plus your striker, either target forward poacher or advanced mode. Forget about false down. You don't want them to be outside of the box, either of 3, but I recommend go for poacher. Even you can see my striker Kudus doesn't have any plus in poacher, but still put them on poacher because this player does a very good job at sticking around the penalty area and keeping it close to my cam. And whenever I feel like I can trigger this player to move forward, can actually get one-on-one and score the goal. So definitely I wouldn't change my 2 striker. Maybe like I'm gonna go with advanced mode, but definitely I wouldn't change my striker and my cam. Specifically, you may want to be tempted to go for playmaker, put this on shadow striker, feel the difference, guys. Feel the attacking force that you get from shadow striker. If your player has shadow striker plus, even better, plus, oh man, you're good for it. Good start, and you could certainly benefit from it more than, of course, a player that doesn't have a shadow striker. But still, I've Racked does a pretty good job, and of course, she scored lots of goals for me. Your 2 cm, you can see I have one of them on playmaker and another one on box. Okay, honestly, I don't recommend to put on the main, like the thing that would make sense. Maybe you could put both of these 2 on deep line playmaker, right, and build up. Okay, like deep line playmaker. Okay, like you'd be like, okay, I have 2 cm, I can trigger them to go forward whenever I thought it was like good, but I don't necessarily want them to go forward. But you just keeping it, you just voluntarily keeping your team from being more aggressive and more attacking, and doesn't necessarily mean you're endangering your defensive side of it. Okay, naturally the center, you're not going to be necessarily crazy in terms of defending. You already have a CDM behind them, so in terms of defending, I highly recommend putting one of them on playmaker. In this case, Vitinha has playmaker plus, so I'm going to put this one on playmaker. And the way this play gets added to attack and the way this play presses, oh man, this is so good. And the other one on box to box, naturally want one player to go back and forth and another one be a little bit more involved in terms of attacking. And behind all these two players, you have a CDM being a box crasher, guys. Box crasher, if you player you're using has box crasher at least a plus, even better plus. The way that player gets added to attack and comes back and start defending, there's a perfect balance between these two. You can certainly feel it during the matches. You don't necessarily see any like a space, maybe like a lack of players like falling behind from your opponent's striker when you put this on shadow striker, whereas it feels like that's what should happen, but that's not necessarily the case. That's definitely one. I feel like this is the best player that has been added to the game this year in FC 26, which is belongs to only CDM. So box crasher, followed by box to box and playmaker. Your defense, your midfield area is going to be stacked with player, and even when you lose the ball, you're still gonna have player that can get the ball back. They also do a very good job in terms of defending and also pressing. You can see all the three players that I'm using, they have a good defending. Not crazy good, but still they have some. And Vitinho is a very good player. He has Anchor, plays all base, and Rice and Tonali also they do play as CDM, also Tonali, also Vitinho. So there are all these three. So I'm playing a cam and centre mid. I'm playing players who play both as centre mid and cam, so a bit of balance between these two is very good. For the left back and right back, I'm putting both of them on fullback balance. The reason I'm going with fullback defense, guys, I feel like right now fullback balance gives you a bit more as opposed to fullback defense, and of course versatile. Sometimes I feel like versatile. I have my left back and right back kind of out of positions. Like I find, like if you put them on versatile, they're kind of something to make the run like away from the middle line, which I don't like it. It's something I just don't like it. If you want to go for it, at the start of the game, if you watch my day one meta, I went for versatile. I felt like, oh, that was good, like I'm getting a bit more. But right now, I feel like now it's just fullback balance does a very job. Fullback defense is good, but it makes it too close to my center backs, and it gives a lot of space for my opponents down the wing. So fullback balance is ideal at the moment. Not necessarily more defensive, it's ideal at the moment. Two set defenders, I'm putting both of them on defender balance. Yes, I know I have a CM in front of them, but guys, honestly, I've been trying it like towards the end of FC 25. I started using defender balance. I liked it from the very first match that I started using. I'm still on it. I feel like defender balance, it doesn't necessarily mean gets out of position. It doesn't make them go out of position, but it gives it like a little bit of aggressiveness in terms of being a little bit kind of like less aggressive and going for the tackle. It gives a bit of an edge over a defender defense. If you think that's too much, you can go with defender defense, but honestly I don't recommend anything other, like a stopper, like wide back. Definitely go for that. Ball playing defender and defender defense or balance. Honestly, no big of a difference between these two. Stopper, I can feel the aggressiveness, but ball playing defender, I don't see. Yes, you can feel some differences, but nothing that would actually be crucial in terms of having an impact in your defending. So defender balance, try this fine. If you didn't like it, go for defender defense. For the goalkeeper, I'm going with ball playing keeper now. I like this one too because in the recent matches, I actually started to pass the ball to my goalkeepers a lot more, and I feel like it actually gives me a bit more option. It kind of like, to be honest, I feel like this thing doing a pass the ball back to my goalkeeper, it kind of frustrates my opponent's mind. Like he has to go all the way forward to get the ball. It maybe feel like it's a bit sweaty somehow, because it also wastes time, but at the same time it gives me more space. It's kind of, again, the main thing that it does, it kind of frustrates my opponent because he has to bring his striker, bring his right mid, like cam forward. It kind of messes up with my opponent's shape and the player positioning. so it gives it a little bit of edge right with my goalkeeper, like an extra help. I really started to like it when I tried like at least like 5-6 matches I've tried it, so that's why I say you go for it, especially if that player you're using has a ball keeper plus. That's even better. But still, if you didn't like it, you just can go whichever one that has plus in, or like here this guy could go with super keeper or goalkeeper, defense, whatever. But I like goalkeeper, ball playing keeper, and of course you only have it on below. That's something that gives it a little bit of edge over the other roles. So those are the play roles and tactics, and of course I'm gonna put the code in the description. Now guys, I'm gonna show you some examples here. You can actually feel how you can play with this formation. So basically how this works is mostly from the middle, the center of the pitch. Of course, having a diamond shape, naturally you don't necessarily have a lot of any force ability from the wing, but you can actually do it well if you trigger the manager. So you could see I have my left back has the ball. Here you could see Marcelo moving forward, a little bit triggering. He made the run to some extent, but he doesn't necessarily go forward. If you feel like you need more attacking force, you can start to put left back on wing back, even attacking fullback if you truly need a goal. But you're gonna take away a lot of defensive side of it. But in terms of attacking, it could be very good, way more attacking than the fullback balance, obviously. So you could see basically this one. You could see I have my cam, my striker, and this other striker. They're gonna be like a triangles all the time between these three. Okay, so like here I pass to my striker, I trigger right and pass back to my, which I pass it back to my cam. Now I trigger my striker Kudus to move forward. Gets there, gets one-on-one. You could see easily. I'm playing against good team. I could see Araujo. I don't say he's a crazy defender in terms of rating or just stats, but you guys know Araujo is a very good player. I have him in my main squad. Very solid defender. You could see I'm getting one. I get past him easily. Now I took the shot. I'm playing against Coach Robbie. By the way, it's 3-1 up. Then I started recording the match. I forgot to do this, but you could see how I'm doing all of this against good center back, and of course again good, very good goalkeeper too. So that's how I got it. I could have scored this one, but I'm going to tell you how I easily opened the defense with this formation. I got one-on-one easily. This one you could see I've got Tonali once again, my CDM to go towards the way I pass it. You could see, look at the pass that I made with him. Look at the pass. This is like these two. I told you guys, my camp and two striker, they're just crazy, ready to make the run, ready to break, like get past the center back, your opponent's center back. My opponent went for obviously an offside trap. You could see it here. He went for an offside trap, but before that I knew this player was, if this was on playmaker, this would be somewhere around here. Okay, somewhere around here. It wouldn't be as aggressive and as attacking as Shadow Striker. This one, I made the run. You could see how beautiful got pass. I have lots of options. If you look at Tonali, pay attention to Tonali who made the pass. Pay attention to him. He made the pass. Okay, just look where it comes. Okay, this player. Okay, look where it comes. He's going all the way. Look at this, all the way. Look, he's getting at it. He's right there. Okay, comes like towards somewhere around there. He's going there. Look where he's like falling up all the way to here. Okay, he will be somewhere end up somewhere around here. Okay, so Buck Scratcher is an extra hole, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna lose the defensive side, which is very good. That's definitely what I want from CDM to be a little bit helpful in terms of attacking too. Here I get one-on-one, I take the shot. It's a low UV shot, easy against Courtois. I took the shot and it's a goal. So you can see that's just basically how you can benefit from your CDM. That's the main thing to know. It's not one of your attacking option, but you could help, you could make assist from your CDM. Once again, here my centimeter to my other striker. You could see, look at my striker, look at my cam. So you feel like this is your striker. She's always in this case right in your cam, always ready to make the run, and the space that player finds between your opponent's center back, the AI surprisingly does a perfect job in terms of finding the right space, and eventually either that player make the run or you trigger the manually with the L1. Oh, that's gonna be so good in terms of being one-on-one with the keeper, because of course ultimately the meta way to actually score, like breaking past your opponent's defense, is to get one-on-one and score. Of course, the shots outside the box and all of those, but when you get one-on-one with the kick, that means you're cracking your opponent's formation, your opponent's tactics. You're winning over that, you know, whatever, like whoever you're playing against, and that's definitely ultimately what we want in the ultimate team. You could see how she's making the run. I'm here. I'm gonna pass the ball to him. You could see, of course, I think there was an offside in here, but still, if I were to just here, if I had taken the pass here, it would have been a clear, and the ball would have definitely reached my player right in here. It was just my own mistake, but still you could see how unstoppable it was, and my opponent literally couldn't do anything to stop it. I go there, and it's just something like this. But again, it could have been you know, not offside if I were just a little bit more aware and a bit faster. And the next example, you could see I have again back. You can see the three main players. My one striker, my cam, another striker is followed by this player. You could see he's moving forward. I have my this player, and of course I have Tonali, which will be added to the game, like to the attack further by. So imagine if you put my left back Marcelo, if he was a wing back or attacking wing back, he would have been somewhere around here now. But again, it's going to be too attacking. If he was minute like 80, 70, you needed a goal very badly. You defending well, you just can't score. You certainly pause the game, go on and put this player on foot, attacking fullback or wing back, because certainly you know, have an extra force, and it's going to surprise your opponents. Once again, I'm going with my striker. You see, this is why I say put this on box to box. You see Rice being there. It's like if he was a holding or deep line playmaker, he would be somewhere around here or there, or this wouldn't be as close to this player, okay? But he was close to my striker, and consider the space that I have for my cam. This isn't my striker, this is my cam. Because she's on shadow striker, the way she makes it run, the way she put himself in situation that's perfect for through balls, okay? That's the meta thing. That's how it's always been in FC25. Even FC24, those through balls, guys, that's very important. That's what we actually have issues, you know, lack defensively to stop the through balls. Now you have an ability to make this even harder for your opponent and actually benefit from this through balls and actually score goals. So you would see I pass. It's a one-on-one shot. I missed it. That was just, it's a one shot, one-time shot. If it was, because I was 5-1 ahead, that's why I just didn't took it. Like, didn't take time for it. If it was like it was a draw or close score, maybe it was like behind, I would have definitely controlled the ball first, then I would have gone for an easy, you know, low jump shot with a visitor score. But anyway, the thing that matters is how easily I got to this position. I got one-on-one, and I could just consider that my next goal. And of course, if it was your case, you could have certainly easily taken, you know, this one, turn this one into a goal. Next one, you could see once again I have my left back. You could see I took him to some extent, but he will stay there. Doesn't necessarily come close a lot, because this isn't triggering manually. I hold L1 the moment I pass the ball, so he's gonna come ahead to some extent, not anything further. You could see I use my CDM goes there. You could see here, look, like this is my right center mid and this is my CDM. There's one line, see. And as you go by, as your CDM comes by, this player gets added to these areas, okay? So because it's on box to box, and if that player has a plus, that player knows when to make the run, knows when it's time for attack. Now I need to get to spaces, but when it's time to defend, I'm going to do my defensive side. But as opposed to here, you can see this is my other center mid, here Vitinha, you see, he's here, and this player is there. So one there, one here, like two lines like behind, like this is the distance between them. But this player is on box to box. That's why I said put one of them on box to box, the other one on playmaking. Gives you a bit more advantage about the support you can get from your midfielders. Remember, guys, midfielders are not necessarily just for defending, just for like you know, playmaker, going for the passes. Right now, you can certainly benefit from the fact that you can get support in terms of just like act like a cam, you know. You can make them be involved in terms of attacking one of your center mid, not necessarily all of your center mid or CDM, so you can use one of them and it can actually be very, look at this. I made the pass, He makes a run. Now look at the options that they have. This is my center mid. This is my other striker. This is a striker that's making the run. I have this player, my right center mid. You can see it's further like away from these line because I'm box to box, okay? And this is of course my CDM being behind all of this. In case you lose the ball, display is there and so. And because it's on 50 on balance, you can see that the space between my players isn't a lot. You can see if for example, if he loses the ball, my two center being on defender balanced, they're close. They tend to make the be a little bit aggressive, get the ball back immediately. That's something that would certainly be helpful in terms of the rhythm of the game and how well you can get the ball back. So some of the attack you can see. This is here. You can see. Look at Rice, the player that's unboxed. I actually triggered him manually. That's why he's making the run even faster than my striker. That's why I triggered him manually. So L1 triggers. This is actually kind of be an extra help, of course, a very crucial one if you know how to go for it. In this situation, I know I'm definitely going to make the right pass. There's no way my opponent could get the ball, so I go for the pass. Even you could see my center mid, another center mid being added. Of course, I triggered him before, and you could see this player, Vitinha, my left center mid, being there because he's on playmaker. I didn't trigger him to come here, as opposed to Rice. I triggered him to be there, but here I didn't trigger this player. He's gonna be there. He's getting involved because he's on playmaker, and of course he's got playmaker plus 12. So the positioning is gonna be way better than a player that doesn't have a plus or a double plus. So a little bit of 1-2. Back to this play, a little bit of lucky tip, but still could have get there easily. 1-2, back to him, gets to him. I could have just again because I'm, I was like Vogel's ahead here. I didn't pay too much attention to that shooting. Of course, this could have sort of gotten. I took the shot here. I would have certainly gotten towards there. Then I would take the shot. Or just could have taken it with more accuracy. Better attention. I just took it. Just didn't want to lose it. Whatever. But you could see it could have certainly been my next goal in this position. Look at how it is, how it started here. A little bit of 1-2 between all of my players from the beginning. Marcelo, 1-2, like it makes a run. Tonali, like 1-2. There's just one time passing, nothing more, just one time. All of it one time. One time, again, a little bit of touches, one time, again, one time. One touch, the second touch is a pass. So I'm gonna keep the ball a lot. I wanna keep the rhythm, keep the attack. I want to go straight to the attack. That's why you can get from this formation. Pass, again, another pass. I get 1-on-1, and that's just how I got 1-on-1 and scored this one, okay? And that's it for 1-2-1-2 narrow in FC20, your post-patch meta weapon for non-stop attacking football. If you're scoring more goals and on the midfield battles, hit that like button and subscribe for more tactics. Let me know in the comments which formation you want to master next. Thanks for watching EF Sudan, where every tactics becomes meta, and see you in the next video.